All right, I've got another project I want to try to knock out of here before the sun goes all the way down. And we'll talk about that right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. And over here in our junk pile of sadness, this is actually the tote that all those parts came in, and I never got that all picked up. But this is the remnants of our planter cylinder. Remember how bad that was? We were gonna try to find a rebuild kit, and then we left it sit out here in the rain and the weather. And it even fell on the ground at one point. Well, there's a reason, because I decided I don't like you anymore, and I'm not doing it. This rod is junk, so I'd have to replace the rod in addition to the seal kit. Also, the clevis is junk, so I'd have to replace that. And by then, we're getting up to like $800 or $900 buying the pieces individually. And I got on the old surplus center, and I found a whole cylinder just like it. So that's what we're gonna do. But I need those fittings, I realize. So that means I need to find the rest of this, because the other day I hit this with the axle sticking out of that John Deere loader tractor and spun this box all around and ended up slinging stuff. So it was not a pleasant time, and I need to find my pieces back. Here's that. I'm also thinking, and I don't know if I'll ever find that back or not, because I don't remember if it was here or what. But I kind of feel like I need these pins because they're a little bit better design than the ones it came with. And I'll show you that here in a bit. There's my very crappy welded on clevis. Kind of swayed the whole idea for me, rebuilding it into just replacing it. Oh, where would you be? Where would you be? It's possible I left that other pin up there on that other thing, but I do need to get those fittings out of there. The new one is supposed to have the same size. What are the chances that we already have the tools we need right here? What? A vice grip. Absolutely we have the tools we need. I'll give it a try with something correct, but doesn't look like that's the right size, so that ain't gonna happen. Vice grip it is. Gotta be careful too, because that welding job somebody did is really sharp, and I don't want to cut my hand open over this nonsense cylinder. And of course, it's not gonna go. Not even a little. All right, well, plan A failed. Plan B is gonna be to go to what's left of my vise in the building and try it. Yeah, so actually my vise is wore out, and I've had this new one for like 2 months. It's been riding around in the pickup and everywhere else, and I haven't had time to put it on there. So one of these days, that's gonna be a project too. But I need to get some thread tape so we can start putting this back together. And that, I hope there's some in the service truck. Otherwise, I don't know. There should be, because I bought like 10,000 rolls, remember? There might actually be some in the white pickup. But we'll figure it out. Do not fret, friends. Do not fret. Well, we got a slight problem. The sun's setting on us. We probably won't get this all the way done before you can't see anymore. But check out this thing of beauty. This is to the tune of $281 instead of $900 and some from the old Co-Ag store. Or also, if I would buy the parts, we would be well up over 1,000 probably. So yeah, rephasing, 3.5 inch bore, 8-inch stroke. Got to put our fittings in. I went and checked just now to make sure which way they went, so I know, you know what I'm talking about. It wouldn't do us much good to put that in and then not be able to connect the hoses. Which is something that we would do, you know. These should be just plastic plugs. But I'm sure that that magical red paint they used will act like glue. And they just won't want to play nice. Also, I'm afraid right away we're hosed. Because what I have here, my adapter to pipe thread. The thread is very similar, but yeah, we're hosed, I'm afraid, friends. So that's going to end our adventure for tonight. All right, well, that was a pretty thought while it lasted. I knew that's what those were when I ordered it, and I thought that's what I had here. But somehow or another, I got my wires crossed. So what I'm going to do is we will go to this probably calls for a trip to the actual hose shop, and hydraulic and all kinds of supply stuff, and see if they don't just happen to have an adapter that goes right from that 90-degree to this JIC. Instead of having all this adapter, I might be able to eliminate one fitting and just have it in one. Or if that worst case worse, I get a 90 street elbow here that has pipe thread on one end and then this on the other end. Not this, but O-ring. I don't remember what they call those, class 8 fittings or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, it's obvious that that ain't gonna work out for us like I thought. I'm trying to think tomorrow if I have time to run and do that first in the morning. I've got a field trip I gotta go on, which is not far away. It's just kind of like shuttling kids a few miles. But nonetheless, that's going to really cut in on our repairing tonight, because I was really hoping to get this, you know, where I could put my planter away, you know. I wanted to clean it out good. I had an idea to make some stuff to try to keep, I don't know if that's the idea to do or not. I was going to make something to, instead of, you know, like when you take the plates off, I was going to try to make something that would cover that, but not touch the brushes, so that mice wouldn't crawl up in there in the tubes and make a home, you know. That's always a problem. So I don't know, but at any rate, we're done for today. I mean, we can't do any more, so we're just going to leave this cylinder in the back of the truck, I'd say. That way, when we go to the hose place. Oh no, this is causing cancer and reproductive harm. Dang it. I specifically ordered the one that didn't cause cancer and reproductive harm, and they sent this. I tell you, you just can't depend on anybody anymore. It's so sad. All right, much time has passed and many things have transpired, but I'm sick of this thing sitting here doing nothing, and I can't even move my planter or get it ready for the winter to put it away. I about fall over there. That's great. I got to get this done. So I went to town and I got fittings, but I was disappointed that the hose place did not have the right combination without using two things. First, he told me, we can't help you. And I said, give me a break. There's some combination you can come up with. So we got to do it in two fittings. I need to look online and see if I could find some place that would have just one. I'm sure it exists, but I don't have time right now or the energy to deal with such stuff. So we're just going to do it this way so that we can say that this project is done for now, because I just can't deal with this. So we're going to put it together and make it happen. Now it goes down, the rod end goes down, so we need to leave our hose. This one needs to be up and that one needs to kind of be down for the hoses to go over the frame and get where they need to be. So that's what we're gonna do. This is the kind of deal where you put it where you want it, and then you tighten this down against the O-ring, and that locks her down. So then we have to do the pipe thread part, you know. That's the next affair. Also, I don't know where I put my hat, so we're just gonna roll without it for now. I don't know what Buddy the dog is chewing on, but he's chewing on something. Will this go around one more time? One more time, come on. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. There we go. All right, step one is done, which hopefully you can see because the sun is kind of shining here. I tried to put you somewhat in the shade with the hopes that maybe, you know, you would, yeah. Sure. Friends, sure. So that's gonna go like such. Oh, that's the second shot. Whoever's deer hunting, if you didn't get it the first time, you're probably gonna not get it the next 15 times. So, you know, be better is what I'm saying. Oh my. Once again, I'm using pipe thread tape on hydraulics, and somebody will whine and cry and say that's not gonna work. Inappropriate. Don't do that. Guess what? It's gonna happen. This is gonna happen today, friends. It's gonna be done today. It was gonna be done today, but my poor little adjustable won't do the thing. So that one fits that. I hopefully have an open end that fits the other one. What would you guess it is? It's not this, I bet. Nope. So that's way too big. Maybe it's not as big as I... It's an inch. Okay. An inch. Sure. I don't like these because, like I've said before, I have the tendency to over tighten and then they will separate and leak forever. So I'm going to try to just be gentle, and I'm not going to go too much because stuff and things. Ah, there we go. Oh, third shot. Maybe you finally got the deer. At that rate, you might have better luck if you just run it down and beat it to death with the butt of your rifle. I don't know. Oh, friends, this ain't gonna be no fun. First of all, I have no idea how I'm gonna make you see anything that's happening. Second of all, I hope I can do this without a loader tractor, but it may not be possible. I don't know. We're gonna try the bottom one first. Or do we want to do the top one first? Oh, brother, that's gonna be a problem. We hit our first snafu, friends. Hopefully. Well, there's our second one. We dropped some stuff we need. But our fitting is gonna hit if I don't watch what I'm doing. So, let's see if we can get one pin started on top, which we're gonna have to go through. Oh, this is a cluster. Cluster of sadness. We can't see what we're doing. Okay. Let's put the pin on it before something bad happens. Let's drop them both to the ground. Son of a Knudsen. That's probably a mistake. But we're gonna try it. All right. Next, I absolutely do not like that. That ain't gonna work with this enormous fitting on that bolt head. So I'm gonna have to just stick it straight up in the air, I guess, because I think we are about in the orientation that it's gonna be. I guess we could try to put the pin in and see how far off we are. But we might also be off by height. I don't know that. That's why I say, yeah, see, we're gonna probably have to get either a high lift jack or a loader tractor and pick it up. Actually, the high lift jack would be the least invasive of things right now, because it wouldn't require me to put a chain above everything. And like all this, that's just asking for trouble. Let's see, that would be tight. We want loose. We need to turn the nut loose. We need to spin this up, which might have been how the old one was. I don't remember. Oh, that's loose. Come on, dum-dum. All right. Yeah, we just got to get that. I think we're all the way retracted with our cylinder. So that's why we're going to have to do what we did. But that is supposed to be the exact replacement for what we had. I mean, quite honestly, Agco just buys them from this supplier, and then they paint it their color, put it on the planter. So I'm gonna have to get something. I don't know what that something is, but I'm gonna go hunt something up, whether it be our loader tractor. I guess in this case it might have to be because of all my piping running in front of here. I don't think I could get the high lift jack exactly where I wanted it. So let me go round that up, and then we'll come back. Then we'll put that tractor away. Then we'll get the tractor hooked up that we can lift this with and try it. So yes, all the time running around to do a simple task, but I don't know what else to say. So just a minute. All right, I got Old Faithful out here to do this. Hopefully it's up to the task. It's now officially a 2-owner tractor, so we're gonna see if we can make it happen. I need to pull up a little bit. Perhaps if we do it right, we'll totally ruin everything, like poke a hole through a seed box or something. Oh, boys. What a week. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out how would be the best way to tear up as much stuff as possible. Sure, yeah, let's loop the chain around the hex shaft. That'd do a good job. Let's go there. I gotta go above that hex shaft. We don't need to go up, just a very slight amount. Oh, John, come on. I know we're at an idle, but geez. Come on. Didn't even hardly ruin anything. Come on. Look at that. Look at it. Perfect. Perfection. I don't like these. We might switch them out to cotter pins at a later date, because in my experience those types of things fall out when you're in it for the long term, like this will be. So I guess let's now let that back down. Is that enough? Oh yeah. Well, hold still. Shut old John down for a minute here. But we should be golden now, I think. I don't see why that wouldn't work. I'm trying to think if that ever would get in a position where this has to slide past that bolt. We might have to watch that. Oh, somebody's coming up the driveway, so I guess I gotta quit. All right. We got to get going again, because I guess I didn't start early enough. The sun's going down on me. So we're going to try to make this happen. But what I was saying before we cut off is we're going to have to watch this extra close, because I'm worried about what if when it raises, the cylinder goes in slightly. We don't want this fitting to hit that bolt head and snap off. So when we raise it up the first time, we're going to have to watch. And I guess if that is an issue, what we're going to have to do is put shims in between the cylinder and this side to keep it where it doesn't do that as much. Or we're going to have to keep angling it even more and make it do that thing. Also, I just realized something else I'm not sure of again. I thought I knew what I was doing, but based on how my hoses have been laying here, now I'm not exactly sure if that is the one that goes to the bottom. We need to work that out again in our head, because if we don't do that, not good things happen. But basically, the oil that is expelled from the one side as it lifts should come over through this top tube, and it should fill the other one. But the most important thing we need to remember is that the oil is going to come out of the top of one and go into the opposite end of the other one, because as it empties one, it fills the next one, and that's how it lifts. But that's what's going to happen. I do have it right. It does make sense. This one goes to the bottom of this one, and then this other one goes to the top. So hopefully it will work without totally screwing the pooch, but you just never know. So basically, I might have had that wrong when I was describing what happened, but it will work. So if this is the, yeah, I did have that wrong when I described how it worked. These are the lifting hoses. That would make sense, because you're going to push down on the thing to go up, and then the oil that comes out of the bottom of this one is going to go fill the top of that one, and whatever it doesn't use is going to go back in there. And when you let it down, you're just letting the oil go back the opposite direction. So yes, it makes sense, believe me. That might be hard to fathom, but I promise you it's fine. We just need to get that where it needs to go, and then we need to be super duper careful when we run that for the first time, to make sure that for no reason whatsoever hits the bolt, because if it does, then we'll have a little bit of an issue, like a lot of sadness, and we don't want that. I'm also wondering if I ought to just right now, even though I don't like how that looks, whether I ought to just angle it slightly different now that I have dropped my other wrench. I don't like this whole setup, but I just ended up not with what I wanted exactly. So we might pursue looking on the internet for, you know, an adapter that will do it in one, because having extras just ain't the thing, friends. Sit there. My phone is going tweedly-dee. And we'll get her. So we're gonna have to, yeah. Actually, my wrench might be adjustable, might not work in this case. I think those are 11/16 actually. So let me just grab that real quick and tighten that top one, and then we'll get another tractor and try to lift this. All right, we got the 1855. We got an 11/16 wrench. So order number one is gonna be to tighten this the rest of the way up, making sure we're going the right direction. You know, stupidity happens. Probably should have got the offset wrench, I realized immediately, but that's the way she goes. Alright, so that's in there. With any luck now, if we hook up the hoses and try to lift it, it'll come off the ground. Hopefully it won't bend anything. Because of the way that it is, all the way on the ground, my hoses aren't long enough. All right, life, cut me some slack. Yeah. It's going to take it a while to fill everything. See, that's why it's going not even. Right now it's bypassing. See how it settles? That right there is a sign of rephasing cylinders. When you raise them up, you let off and it settles ever so slightly. Sure I got it yet though. Let's let her down. Let's raise her up. It's a little bit lopsided. I might have to adjust a little bit more. And also I noticed that my slave cylinder there, is that slave cylinder? Yeah, over there on the right, it's not moving that wheel enough. So either it's adjusted too short or something. And maybe it is fine, but it's an optical illusion the way we are right now. See, that is all the way in. So I don't know. We'll mess with it some more. We'll pull it around on level ground. We're gonna have to get it hooked up because that ain't gonna work. But that also raises the issue, what do I do at the hitch pin? I think I used it to take that soil and water drill back to town, in which case it should be in the back of the pickup. Let's see if we can pick up the mark. Or not. There we go. Yeah, something ain't adjusted quite right, I don't think. But we'll remedy that later on. I'm trying to see if it even if my clutch is released. I don't think it is. I think I might actually have to take that loose again at the bottom and thread that cylinder rod out a little bit, the yoke on it, because I'm wondering, that's probably my problem. See there, I got just a little bit more. There I got a lot of bit more, and I don't think I have that over here. I know I don't have it on that one, and I question on this one. But it could have always been that way a lot of the time, except for this. That ain't right. And something really ain't right because it ain't lining up even. That should not be like that. So I don't know what has happened, but something has happened and it is not right. So we're gonna have to figure out what that is, because that ain't gonna work. But I don't know. Maybe the whatever the bearing is that holds this in here to this is not quite right anymore. Maybe that's what let loose and caused my problem in the first place. That's a puzzle, friends. See, that would let that go down. I'm just wondering if that's not a problem. We'll have to look in the parts book and figure that out exactly, because this ain't gonna work as it is. That's just not right. So oh, bounce. Yeah, see, that's not right. Sure. Unless that slipped its position, it's still not right though. Well, darn. Well, it's almost dark and I hate to accept defeat, but we're not done here. There's obviously something going on that ain't quite right, and I'm gonna have to look in the parts book again and determine what exactly that may be, because this is not, I'm not satisfied that this is fixed. First of all, because this side will never ever shut off with the clutch like this. So that begs the question, is there a problem with this system behind here, which will probably require me to slide this all loose so I can, you know, see what's what. I find it very unusual that I would have bent this shaft. I just don't think that, I don't know. It's getting too dark though to mess with it, so we might just have to table that. That's a short shaft, so a guy could pull that out that end if he had to see what's going on. Slide this one this way and figure out what gives, because something gives. This ain't right. Boy, you look at that, and in the light of darkness, I can't really tell how that's made. So we'll look in the parts book, we'll figure it out, and before next year we'll make her happen. But the cylinder was step one. Step two is just going to be adjusting as necessary and making sure that we're ready to go by springtime. So yeah, I mean, what's a guy gonna do, you know, other than just hope for the best and start pulling parts apart and see what happens. But we gotta see something, because something ain't right here, and that could have been what caused part of my failure, but I doubt it. I think my biggest part of failure was just somebody else had broke it and welded it. So we got a much better cylinder now, and it should serve us well. But it's getting too dark out here for you, so we're gonna call this one here. Do you suffer from low intelligence and are easily entertained? Well, then hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment. And that way we can keep making entertainment that your feeble minds can understand. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.